this week's episode of One Piece, Sanji reluctantly has to leave his friends so that he can go see Big Mom and meet his future bride. Also that he doesn't get the other Straw Hat Pirates caught up in a massive confrontation. But that's not gonna stop Luffy as he decides they're gonna head headlong into the Viper's Nest to reclaim Sanji from the clutches of the evil Big Mom. With that being said, this was a very simple episode of One Piece. Not that much happened, but what did happen was pretty freaking important. Also, was it not just so cool when Capone transformed into a tank? I'm not sure what he can do with his powers, but if he can transform his body into a frigging tank, just imagine what else he can become. I demand that Capone transforms into a fighter jet. Or better yet, Mecha Capone. Mecha Capone versus Frankie in the Shogun Frankie. Oh, that would be epic. I also really love the scene with Nekomamushi, Master Cat Viper, when he confronted Capone in this episode. He was really scary looking. The way he was in the shadow and the way his eyes were glowing red. He was a pretty disturbing looking character at that moment, and I wouldn't want to mess with him either. What is really cool though is that Sanji is at least able to save his friends. He's able to throw Nami, Chopper, and Brook out. So that scene that you've been seeing in the intro for the last couple of episodes finally makes sense. And Sanji takes advantage of the fact that Capone's gang is not allowed to kill him by basically just kicking the shit out of all of them so that way they can't get to his friends. So what's the rundown on this week's episode of One Piece? This was a very sad episode. It was a little long-winded when Nami, Chopper, and Brook were sitting there crying as Sanji was being taken away by Capone, but honestly, it had a lot of weight behind it. The fact that there was nothing they could do to actually convince Sanji to just stay behind, or at least wait for Luffy and the other guys to get back before they could make some final decision. It was truly tough. I mean, Capone really put him between a rock and a hard place, and Capone himself, like I said, was probably the highlight of the episode. The fact that his abilities can go so far. I did not expect him to transform into a freaking tank. Also, it looks like Peckham's is going to be just fine, despite the fact that Capone just completely iced him. Like, not even in slow-mo, like, he shot him like hundreds of times, so it looks like he's going to be just fine. I guess they got sensu beans on frickin' Zoe. I think this is going to be one of the major turning points for the rest of One Piece, as Zoro makes it painfully clear that they're pretty much screwed. They've been messing with Doflamingo, they've been messing with the Smile Factory, Kaido is on their ass, Big Mom is getting ready to take Sanji away from one of them. They've made a lot of enemies, so things are going to be a lot more difficult from this point on. But it looks like Luffy has a lot of high hopes, so let's trust in our captain. And this week's episode was pretty solid, despite the fact that it was very slow and not much happened. It's one of those episodes of One Piece that if you watch the anime version only, you kind of have to check it out. I do recommend it in that sense. That being said, it was kind of an average episode. It was just okay in my opinion. Still a very watchable episode. If anything, it's an episode you should watch at least once. I'm going to give this episode right here a 3 out of 5. Check it out, One Piece fans. You might see something you like. If any of you did watch the episode, make sure to tell me what you thought about it in the comments section below. Now that Sanji has officially left the crew, what do you want to see from the rest of the Zoe arc and the upcoming arcs involving Big Mom and Kaido? Thank you guys so much for watching this review. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment or two, and if you liked the review, please leave a like. Thank you guys again for watching. I will see you next time, and as always, stay dandy, baby.